Do 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 do. Hey everybody, Chris Courtney here, New Pragmatic. Just here on the pre-show, hanging out, answering a few questions, checking out things, seeing how everybody's doing. Right before we get underway, seeing some updates here. Lisa's jumping into daily stand-up. Just taking a look at that. Want to welcome Charlie to the crew. Charlie, welcome. Nice to have a new student along for the ride. Looking forward to syncing up with you here shortly. I know you've got some work, some prep work you're doing as you get ramped up. Looks like CouchBot may have already fired. Wow, CouchBot is just right on top of it. Amazing. CouchBot's just in there. Love it. All right. Well, hell. If CouchBot's going to be that spry, I guess we should just get going. All right. Greetings, one and all. Chris Courtney here, New Pragmatic. So good to have you along. It's a lovely middle of the week, and got a few things to take a look at. Lisa's got a few questions. Eve has submitted her prototype. Like, ring the bell. Eve's got a finished prototype. Well, we're gonna look at it. Might be finished. I don't know. We'll see. If it's Eve, I'm guessing it's tight. But we will see. Eve does stellar work. Everything's probably locked in on that. So but she's included her tests. So you get to ride along as I test this thing out and see where things are. The important thing about a prototype is that before you jump into user testing or product testing, Chris, please, you never test the user. You're having users test the product, but we call it user testing. I really think it's product testing, and this is an example of one of those design semantics. We've always called it user testing, even though that's not really what it is. But anytime we go to change the terminology, well, we call it user testing. We don't call it product testing. You're just going to confuse people. So we should just keep using the word that doesn't really describe what we're doing. Okay. Anyway, we're going to do product testing with Eve, and this is so that she can go in, fix the last few things that she needs to fix, and then frankly, go run her tests. And we just released some new material on remote testing. In case you haven't seen that, check out the Discord channel. I released that over the weekend, and which seems like 8 years ago at this point. Like, the weekend was so long ago. So much has happened since then. But let's just get into it. Okay. Sharing my screen, and off we go. If I could just, I don't know. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Swipe right, swipe left. You'd think I was dating my computer. Anyway, let's start over here with Lisa. She had, I was frankly a little confused by Lisa's question, but we'll get in here. She's got a Squarespace site, and if you've never tagged along on a Squarespace site, well, today is your time. We're gonna go into site styles because she had a question about the background, and she's got a few case studies here, and I wanted to actually I've got to back out. This is the weird thing about Squarespace. Well, actually everything's weird about Squarespace, but you have to select the page that you're looking for. So this is the odd jobs page, and she was reporting that it had a not white background. But I'm not seeing anything that would tell me that it's gray or anything. So let's go into site styles and take a peek. And here you've got site background, and if we click on that, it looks about as white as can be. Like, if I come over here and make it red, that's obviously not white. So if I make it white, yeah, that's about as clean as a background as you can get on the old Squarespace. Looking over it again, I don't see Yeah, I don't see anything to dissuade me from thinking that it's a finished background. Let's come back out of here and go back up to the top. I guess we can go back over here. I just want to check like WonderDog and see if, yeah, that's clean. So yeah, Lisa, I'm not entirely sure regarding your project, what you're seeing on your side, but we do have an upcoming meeting. So if you're watching this and you're like, that's not showing up the way it's showing up for me, we can talk about it. But otherwise, it's showing up fine. So I'm gonna bounce out of that. Let's continue on. Eve is here. And Eve has her Healthy Eats project, Healthy Eats by Fresh Market. This is, for those of you unfamiliar with the program, there is a case, or there is a project. So if you go to newpragmatic.com/courses, you'll see right on down here at the bottom, there's Project Fresh Market. And Fresh Market is, it's a bit of a project, as you can see. All the way through, front to back. Eve is right here on Prototype Update. So if we jump in here and look at her prototype, the big thing that you have to protect against when you're trying to get feedback on a piece of work like this is there's a tendency in the community, particularly among new designers, to go onto a social media site or hop into a Discord channel and say, hey, my prototype's finished. Can y'all take a look at it? And it's like, sure. And then people kind of like, they look around and they go, oh, wow, this is really nice. This is great. All right, looks good to me. And like, that's it. There's no thought process beyond that. It's just looks good to me. And it's a false positive. I mean, nobody's tested anything. People have just kind of looked at it, and you're not really sure if it's flawed or not. So this is why any prototype has to come with a set of tests. What would you like me to do with it? So, if you're watching along and you haven't created a prototype, or you're watching along and you're wondering how to like get the most out of these things, you have to write out some tests. And these tests go all the way back. If we're looking at the project, when really it's right here. This is determining what you're going to test. Okay? Oh, and it looks like I've not updated some. There's an error right there. So I know there's sentences there. So I've got to do some editing. But all the way back here in user stories and user flows, you're really defining what you're going to be testing. So, and that's very early on in the project. But now you're up here in prototype. Okay? And yes, typically speaking, you've also ran a test right here, the first level of prototyping. So this is prototyping 2, and the whole goal of prototyping 2 is we've added color, and we've added images, and we've added illustrations and whatnot, text, or not text, but typography. Can we still determine how this functions? Because once you begin adding the visual on top of it, the function can get lost. So that's what we're going to test today. So the first test she said here is, please look around the home page and refrain from clicking links just yet. After looking around, how would you describe the product and how it works? Could you describe the product and how it works? So she's asking them to kind of give her the grunt test. Okay, this is where the cave person looks at it and goes, food order, or something along those lines. That's what you're looking for. If somebody takes a minute to look at your site and they can't determine what the site does, that's a problem. Okay? Healthy eating without hassle. Hassle-free eating? Affordable, fully prepared, ready-to-eat meals at your convenience. That tells me what that tells me what it's supposed to do. I don't know if it does it yet, but it tells me what it's supposed to do. So she's healthy eats, healthy eating without the hassle, affordable, like it's layered in there what it does. Okay, this messaging matters because just the food by itself doesn't do it, because I don't know how to get to that food. How do I get that food? Because those salads look delicious. Come on now. Anyway, how it works. Nice illustrations. By the way, the illustrations, for those wondering, because I'm sure, on first glance, it probably looks like Eve is just some. It looks like Eve is just some savant of illustration. Actually, it's Freepik. Freepik.com. They have these stories that are completely editable illustrations. Okay. And they're always updating them. Like, they've put a lot of Black Lives Matter illustrations, stop racism, stuff like that in here, and that's great. Nice to see that they're constantly updating this information. And they have, we've got a new person. So this is a new person. This is a new illustration style that has been added in the last few days, it looks like. So that's great. But this is where a lot of her illustrations are coming from. Anyway, if we get back over here to the test, so on the menu, plans. So overall, it's very clean. It's very well done. So let's move to her second test, because we haven't really tested anything yet. We're just kind of asking them to acclimate. So, how would you find the nutritional facts of the meal rice paper summer rolls? Any thoughts on the navigation of this task? So rice paper summer rolls. I'm looking for rice paper summer rolls. Okay, so start healthy eating. Oh, okay, rice paper summer rolls. Okay, there it is. Wait, the question was nutritional facts. Okay, nutritional facts. Okay. All right. I think I've done it. Right, I've done it. This is something that Katie really did a good job on this, where her pathways ended with some sort of celebration. Like, there would be a modal that popped up with a GIF in it that said, "Hey, congratulations, you did the thing." You don't have to do that, but it's something I wanted to mention that you could. But I found the nutritional facts, ingredients, nutritional facts. This is what a fully functioning prototype looks like. Let's go back to this. Any thoughts on navigating of this task? One thing I'll mention right away, if we go to plan, actually I'll go back to healthy eats. You can get here a few different ways. For those of you following along at home, obviously she built this with the rice paper summer rolls. You could also go view full menu, and here we're on the full menu, and we're kind of mowing through the information. And oh, hey, look, there's rice paper summer rolls. Quick view. Eve going nuts here. Oh my goodness, she's got multiple tiers of. Yeah, this is really nice. View full details. It takes you to the same page. So Eve has built out this on a number of levels. So we could make it directly here from the home page. We could also go through the menu and through the quick view to here. So there's a couple of different paths here, and that's what I'm going to be expecting to see from your prototypes. If you're coming through the program, I'm expecting your prototypes to have more than one path to get things done, because that's how a real site works. Assuming you could get, assuming you have a get together with family or friends, 4 people or more coming up, how can you find a plan that would work for this event? Assuming you have a get together, I would say something like, you know, if you have a get together coming up, with family and friends, 4 people or more, how would you find a meal plan that works for you? Something along those lines. Anyway, we'll go back over here. So, a meal plan. Okay, so I'm going to go choose a plan and find the perfect plan. So, 2 meals, 3 meals, 4 meals. I guess large meals. Oh, yeah, great for families and weekly get-togethers. Okay. I want to go back to the prompt. Assuming you, okay, how can you find a plan that would work for this event? I'm gonna say, well, I guess it would be 2. I do 2 meals because it serves 4, and I'm guessing I'm getting that's like 8 meals. Select number of meals per week. So I guess I could select this and probably go through. Okay, so there's that. I'll hit continue. And this is where, okay, so this is interesting. I've already selected the number of meals. Remember, I've done this and I've done that. So it's odd. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. Okay. All right. So here I've selected regular size meal and I hit select, or I hit, like, you see the issue? Like, there's a little break here. You've got a, by the way, I love this. So like I get the rollover, hey, you haven't selected the number of meals that you want. However, this is very tough, Eve, because as you go through, that's the only one, that's the path, that's the one path. And what I hate here is that you have to basically build like one, if I want to select this, or if I want to select this, I'd have to have these selectable as well. You also are asking people to pick large meal sizes, and then these don't work. So there's some pain here in this particular flow. What's also interesting is, let's come back down to here. If I selected this and then selected that, like, it takes me here, but I know what's going to happen is it's going to ask me for the plan again. So it's like, I've already selected the plan. Oh, I've already selected the plan. So what happens there? I think this is a this is a break. Okay? Now, you could have a flow here that flips the order and says, "Oh, you selected a plan. Awesome." And then it rolls downhill from there. So welcome and plan are reversed. All right? So, welcome, this is where I say I want to start eating healthy. And okay, well, it's gonna do it again. Oh, it's gonna do it again. Oh, well, wait. Okay, so this one held. Wait, start eating healthy. Okay. There's a rough spot. Um, the the interesting thing is, and this is always tough. It's like, how do you build out every possible pathway? My suggestion would be no. I don't want you to build out every possible pathway. My main concern is that in some instances, when I say, I'm going to start eating healthy, and I'm going to say, give me these plans, and then I say that, and then it asks me for the plans again. Okay, that's my big pain point. So let's do this again. Start eating healthy. I'm going to select 2. That one holds it. Like, the 3 meals is held. So, like, if it goes through and it's held those, it's almost like this particular pathway. I've selected the meals. This should be select, confirm or update your perfect plan, because I could switch this around, right? Yeah. So there's an issue there. Show me how you would purchase a regular size 3 meal per week plan. When you get to the meals selection part, I'll let you know which dishes to select. So we're actually there. We're actually there, right? So you've said select 3 dishes: panko, flank, rice paper. Continue until checkout. Please select 15% at the tip question. Okay. Panko, flank, rice paper. Okay. So that all works pretty well. All right. One thing, do I like that? Is there a particular reason why I can only see the next week? Like, could I get a calendar to say, I want this on the 10th? I guess the 10th would be here. Do I have to come back to place this when that's a concern, because as a business, like, I just want you to be able to spend your money with me. So, and I could see this being like, you have to select within the next 4 weeks. Constraining it to the next 7 days is a little odd. Input text. That might be a mistake right there. What's this? Okay. Tip. Proceed to checkout. These are really nice. I love the tooltips, by the way. So let's come back over here. Actually, I want to finish the flow because it's really nice overall. Review details. Meals cannot be left on your doorstep. Place order. Okay. I think that should be thank you, comma, by the way. Yeah, overall, anything surprising about the product experience? Do you know anyone who would benefit from using Healthy Eats? What is your overall impression of Healthy Eats? This is a really good run. I do think that there are a few spots, particularly with this. Like, I can select that, and it's what I think is striking. When I come over here, start eating healthy. This is jarring. I'm not anticipating, or maybe I should be anticipating. If I hit, okay, what is this? It's interesting because I'm not fully expecting for it to jump me into the sign up flow. Like starting healthy, select. Like I almost want to say select, continue to sign up, but I do see the issue. Like, are people going to bounce at that point? Like, hey, I don't want to sign up. So but by clicking this, I lose the option of like changing my mind. Okay, it like immediately throws me into the flow. Now I get that back here, right? But the thing that's great about this is I've got a next button. This next button makes me feel okay about what's going on here, because I can do that. I can also go back, which is why I love this thing. You know. So overall, Eve, I like it. I really love the menu flow. The work you did on that rice paper rolls section is fantastic. I only got tripped up on the plans and how it advances. It looked like there was a little issue with delivery instructions. There was like the address field had been skipped over. Overall, though, this is really solid. This is really solid. And folks, if you're watching this and you're wondering, like, you know, why do we put so much time into a prototype like this? The worst thing in the world that you can do is build a mistake into the platform that you could have rooted out in a flat prototype. You know, this prototype, while it has some interactions and it's well designed, this prototype is much cheaper for your organization to build than a fully functioning site that has errors in it. Every company has some bit of user experience that could be improved if they put in the time for testing. Every company shorts that to a point where they're not doing enough testing, or they're not doing enough research. You know, they're not doing enough up front. They're getting to the build cycle too fast, and when they get there, they make the mistake, and then they have to circle back, and it's just lost time and funds, because it's not free to rebuild the site when the site's already been built. So we do this testing ahead of that. So I hope this has been helpful. Eve, this has been great for me. I think we found a couple of things that can be updated, and I know we've got the call a little later today, but I think that you're very close to testing, to the point that I would say I would begin lining up the test. Today is the 1st, so getting close to that July 4th moment, but you might be able to get a couple of tests scheduled if you start it today, maybe tomorrow and Friday, and that way you could begin looking at, okay, what are the updates that I need to make here heading into next week, because you're now in, like, I'm gonna begin writing my case study and getting something ready for a portfolio, but it's got to go through user testing. You need to make a couple of updates and you'll be good to go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for today's edition of the Feedback Loop. Loved having a chance to get in there and look at a proper prototype and see the advances that Eve has made to this point. If you've got questions for me, you can always drop them in the Discord channel. It's always nice to see people flowing in there. And otherwise, you know what? I think we're done here. So for Feedback Loop, I'm Chris Courtney. We'll see you later. Take care.